fire! Yes, I'm allowed to yell that in a crowded room. And that is one of the great limits of free speech that I'm here to talk about today, the extremes of free speech and why they're so important to fight for. Even the most obnoxious ones, even ones I have trouble with. When I hear these terrible homophobic, racist, kind of sexist rap lyrics, I'm offended too. But I think, you know what? We need these to open up conversations about stupidity, really. Flag burning. Why do people, who would do that anyway? I mean, it's so retro, really. But it is a good photo op. And I really believe that America, no matter all the things we're talking about, how terrible things we're doing today, is still the greatest country. But I'm very suspicious of patriotism. So if people want to burn a flag, I'm quite happy with them doing that. Porn. You know, I'm old-fashioned. I love porn. It's the only reason to have a TV, I think. But porn today is pretty offensive. If you see heterosexual porn, I mean, gay porn has safe sex in it. Heterosexual porn has unprotected anal sex. It's like watching a snuff movie to me. It's not erotic. And believe me, the right wing is going to use these movies to stop all sexual behavior. You know, what is Deep Throat Raw? There's movies called The Gag Factor, where women are gagging and vomiting. That's erotic? I know people used to watch porn to perk up their love life and do a hit of poppers. What do they do, Epicac now? Even nude dancing, why does that end up in the Supreme Court all the time? Some people have real problems with pubic hair and liquor, for a reason I'm not so sure why that's that important these days. I used to go to the Block here all the time, see Blaze Star. It's different today. It's hard to stick up for it. It's a junkie with tracks, and she comes out nude with a bottle of hand lotion and a gym mat. It's not exactly burlesque, but we have to fight for it. We really do have to fight for it. We have to fight for cigarette ads. Believe me, I'm an ex-smoker. I used to smoke 5 packs a day. The only thing the government ever told you that was true is smoking's bad for you. So I just thank Richard Prince, because every time I see his artwork, I see he's turned cigarettes into ads, which makes them non-effectual. Even the MPAA, though, now, has come out and set up anybody showing a movie of people smoking and gets an R rating. That's insane. You know, what are they going to do about Second World War movies? And hate speech, yes, we even have to defend that, the hardest of all. I read recently the prison papers here had a hate speech thing. We really do have to offend it, and all these extremes are what makes it worth fighting for. Censorship has been my best press agent from the beginning. If any of you are censors, realize if you want to stop something, don't talk about it. The best thing that ever happened to me was getting busted or getting my film stopped. Then people run to see it. But what's changed is liberal censors today are much worse. And I'm a liberal, a bleeding heart liberal. But I'm used to fighting censors like Maria Vera on the censor board, who I would take in a film and she'd say, "Don't tell me about sex, I was married to an Italian." I know what she means, but liberal censors are worse. The MPAA was my last film, and they said, there's nothing matter with an NC-17 movie. 17 and up can see it, that means all college students, and they're actually right. But censorship today is economy. I mean, basically, the Landmark chain, who is the best, shows art movies everywhere in the country. And I found out that in some of their theaters, like the one in San Francisco, the main one I always played in, deep in the rental lease, their landlord has that they can't show an NC-17 movie. When it came out on DVD, there's no, except for the great Video American in Baltimore, there is no hit video shops left anywhere because Netflix has put them out of business. So all that's left is the big chains, Walmart, Blockbusters, all those will not carry NC-17 movies. So they could use their lobbyists to change those laws, but they don't. It's a new kind of censorship. At least in the UK, they said to me, we don't know how to deal with intentional bad taste. That was fair. But political correctness is a new weird kind of censorship, even though I am politically correct, I think, and I believe in it. But I did a joke once about Kathleen Turner saying the word cocksucker, and a gay militant said to me, "What's the matter with that, John?" Jesus, keep a sense of humor here, you know? was aware of free speech early. I remember as a kid in Catholic Sunday Mass when they made us take the Legion of Decency pledge that you wouldn't see condemned movies. I thought, I'm going to see every one of them, basically. And I'm still attacked by the Catholic Church, which is amazing. This guy, William Donahue, who's kind of the Dr. Ruth of the Catholic Church these days, and he has the Catholic League, and on my last movie they said, who is this John Waters? He's a homosexual, and there's a lot of them in the woods these days. He ought to watch his own woods from what I've been reading. I grew up with Grove Press. God bless Grove Press. They saved my life. They fought censorship in the 60s. They showed Barney Rossett. He did the Marquis de Sade. He did Lady Chatterley's Lover. He did City of Night. All the books that really are responsible for the freedom we have today. Lenny Bruce, who met his wife here on the block. He went to jail for saying the word fuck. And now it's on television. So I try to think of a day, what is a word that's so hideous that I could appall people by saying it tonight? And I heard one this week, and if you have sensibilities, cover your ears here. But we're talking about free speech. I was in a redneck bar in Baltimore, and it was all kind of overweight people. And this guy said to me, I'm going to get me some gut tonight. And I said, gun? What's that? He said, where the gut meets the private area. I thought, oh my God. I'm shocked. A new word that's obscene. So that I'm allowed to say the word gunt to you today, that is progress. There's great pioneers in Baltimore that we should thank. Ronald Friedman, who owned the Rex Theater for here, that showed nudist camp movies. You laugh about it, but he fought the censor board for years. He would go back, he'd show Bergman as a sex movie because they showed breasts. And he would fight the censor board, and they'd cut something out, and he'd sneak it back in and open it. And he's really responsible too. And I visited him recently in a nursing home, and he took out all his scrapbooks of all his fights with the censor board, and it was really touching and moving to me. Underground movies, they changed everything. And when I was young, you could go to jail for seeing a movie. They took people away in the paddy wagon for seeing Flaming Creatures. My own career, even in Maryland, even Maryland Institute hassled me. And this was a long time ago. This has nothing to do with the people that run it today. And many of the people that work on my films were educated at the Maryland Institute, so this isn't personal. But in 1967, I made a film called Eat Your Makeup, and I entered it in the Maryland Film Festival, which was at the time at Maryland Institute. And in it, we had the Kennedy assassination scene with Devine playing Jackie, and people really didn't think it was funny because it was 2 years later. But they stopped the movie in the middle of it and went, and we were showing it in a church, and called the IRS, so I couldn't charge admission. They were so outraged, and I said, why? And they said, you are pernicious. Pernicious? I didn't even know what it meant, but it was a good one. So, I did have a problem with liberal censors once again. I filmed Mondo Trasho on Hopkins campus without asking, but they called the police. I got busted there too. I had a really bad academic experience. And finally, Pink Flamingos played here, and at the University of Baltimore, of all places, the college that really supported me the most. And then finally, the censor board got a hold of it, and she said, I cut the fellatio scene, but I didn't cut the dog do. I should have. And you think of it now, Pink Flamingos is playing on television, cable, uncut. I'm against that. That should be illegal, I think. And with Desperate Living, when it came out, she was going to cut it, so we were going to actually go and chain ourselves to her furniture in the scene with Gene Hill, who weighed 400 pounds. It would have been a really good photo op. But the great Governor Harry Hughes got rid of the censor board the day he got in office, so I salute him tonight, too. The basic freedom to protest. I get so weary of hearing liberals whine about Bush. Go overturn a car. That's what we did. Set fires. Humiliate your enemies like the Yippies did. They used to piss on the Pentagon. That's free. Today you'd really get in trouble. But I guess I'm guilty too, looking back. The one thing I feel bad about is when Agnew spoke, we used to go, and every time he would speak, everybody would start screaming. So you drowned him out. He couldn't speak. So I actually took away his free speech. So I do feel bad about that. I'm for religious freedom. I don't care what your religion is. Just don't make me do it. That's the thing. A person that really fought in Maryland that's very hated is a woman I want to salute tonight too, Madeline Murray O'Hare, who took prayer out of the school. And when I went to Catholic school here at Calvert Hall, one of the teachers told us to break her windows. She was really hated and she loved being hated. And sometimes it takes someone that loves being hated to change the law. My favorite thing she did, she had a bumper sticker that said, "Prayer is begging," which really made me laugh. And freedom of the press? Yes, I need to see the new pictures of Britney's shaved crotch. I have a right to see them. And those same freedoms were because of Watergate. It all comes together, the high and the low of freedom of the press. And now the internet. What is left? Is there any laws? Can you libel someone on the internet? It's the hardest of all things to discuss today because it's the Wild West. There's no rules. And even I have felt it. I was out one night and I came home in Baltimore and my friend said, "Look on this blog." And it said, "John Waters was in the Club Charles tonight and he took a pee in the bathroom, didn't wash his hands, and shook hands with fans." Oh my God. I was so humiliated. But I'd like to really salute that person tonight. Freedom of the